Welcome to the Bounty Zero X podcast. I'm your host, Angelo Adam, founder and CEO of Bounty Zero X. Bounty Zero X is a decentralized bounty hunting network powered by the BNTY token. Today is October 10th, 2018, and my guest on the show is Sharan Nair. Sharan started in the cryptocurrency space in 2014 and previously served as the vice president at Unocoin, India's largest fiat crypto exchange. In his current role, Sharan is the senior vice president at CoinSwitch, which is a exchange aggregator backed by Sequoia Capital. CoinSwitch is the world's leading exchange aggregator platform, currently listing over 250 coins and 6,000 pairs. As of 2018, it's been hitting approximately $1 million per day in volume. Among the exchanges that are aggregated on CoinSwitch are Bittrex, Changely, Shapeshift, and Cryptopia. It enables users to trade over 300 coins without creating an account on any exchange, and it can be thought of as an exchange marketplace through which users can access various crypto markets. So, Sharan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
So tell me a little bit how you initially got involved when you joined CoinSwitch. Tell me what stage the platform was at.
When I joined CoinSwitch, that was March of 2018. The company had pretty much built the product, but we were yet to launch a lot of additional features that we will discuss later on this podcast. So when I joined in, we were a team of few people. Now we are a little bigger. In size, we are about 25 people now. And we were already in the market. People were yet to discover us, but the people who had already discovered us were really happy about us. That was very evident from the Trustpilot reviews and the multiple review portals and the multiple places where customers have been talking about it.
So how has the platform changed in the past 6 or 7 months since you joined?
So what we have actively tried to do over the last couple of months is to build a functionality of user easiness, right? To make it really easy for users to come. We have worked really hard on the way the platform looks, the way the platform's functionality user experience works. We have worked very closely with our customers. We are in regular contact with them, trying to get feedbacks and trying to fit in those feedbacks. And that way we are trying now completely focused on trying to build a product that is very customer centric. So that's the approach that we took.
So what have been some of the improvements that you guys have made in the past 6 or 7 months?
The number of coins that have drastically gone up, the ones that we have started to put up on the platform, the number of exchanges have drastically gone up. We have also partnered with a lot of wallet providers, for example, Exodus, Garda, we are on Trezor, the hardware wallet. So a lot of partnerships have worked out really well over the last couple of months that we see. The number of volumes have increased because we were now able to reach out to a wider audience by strategically placing our partnerships. And we have built a few products that have been super successful. One of that is our custom crypto exchange, which basically enables any website to build or set up their own instant exchange on their website in just under 2 minutes with zero code. So this gave the power to the users or website owners to monetize the crypto audience and has been widely used by coin owners, primarily making it one place for their users to come and buy their coins. I think in just 2 months of the launch, we have touched about 150 plus activations on our custom crypto exchange. That tells us that people see a real good value in what we do.
So if you list a new token on your platform, does that token need to be traded on one of the underlying exchanges that you aggregate?
Yes. Since essentially we're an exchange aggregator, the actual transaction happens on the exchange, right? So there is no way we can add a token without it being listed on any of our partner exchanges. So we currently have about 10 partner exchanges: Bittrex, KuCoin, HitBTC, Cryptopia, Changely, Shapeshift, and IDEX, as you mentioned. Some of our partner exchanges. Over a period of time, we'll be adding more partner exchanges to this list.
And tell me about the feature that lets users buy with Visa credit card.
Yeah, so we're actively working on that. So very soon we'll have an integration in place where users will be able to buy cryptocurrencies using their credit cards. So that should be coming around soon.
So That sounds really great. And what is your, do you have data on how many users you're currently getting and your user growth over the past few months?
So one of the things that we do not consider as a metric is the number of users, primarily because a lot of users do not have to create an account with CoinSwitch, that being our number one feature, right? So we don't look at number of users. What we look at is number of trades. And in terms of number of trades, we have done about 175,000 trades in the last 10 months.
So there is an account option though. So what does registering and creating an account offer that just using the platform without an account doesn't offer?
That depends upon the underlying partners that we use. For certain transactions, for certain volumes, when it's huge, we require them to create an account to do the preliminary KYC. Certain exchanges require users to have their identities in place. In such cases, the user needs to create an account. In other cases, the user doesn't have to create an account. Also, when a user creates an account, they'll have access to the referrals, people they have referred, they can see what's happening, and those functionalities come in with the account feature.
So what does the referral program consist of? So from what I understand, it's 25% profit share for users who are referred to your platform from other places by other users. So how does that work?
Right. So currently what we have is a 25% model that we have in the place right now. So we have three things that we have. One is the basic customer referral, wherein you get a referral code, you give that to your user and you get 25% of the trade that the referral makes forever, which means for every single transaction, you get 25% of the revenue share that we make. The second is our exchange, instant exchange model and the widget. So if you place our widget or you use an instant exchange, you get 50% of the referral fee. We're currently coming up with a new affiliate program that will give you $5 every time you refer someone. And that person, if they complete a successful transaction, they also get $5. But that's on the first transaction.
So where do you see the platform going in the next 6 to 12 months? What are the biggest areas that you guys are working on improving and new features that you're working on?
We are currently, one of our major focus areas to integrate more of DEX, decentralized exchanges, onto the platform, right? Because one of the things that we believe in is that DEX is the future. Second, the fact that a lot of people, as of today, cannot access DEX platforms primarily because the UI UX makes it very difficult for them to access such platforms. So we believe that before we move into a complete decentralized exchange model, businesses will have to provide a layer for normal users to interact on DEX, and that's what we do. Right. So we integrated IDEX, making it way easier for users to come and trade on IDEX via CoinSwitch, which they were not able to previously do because they found it too complicated. We also enabled any-to-any feature on IDEX. So basically what happened with IDEX was that you could just use Ethereum to convert or buy coins on IDEX. So we enabled any-to-any, which basically means you could pick any coin on IDEX and buy any other coin on IDEX via CoinSwitch. So this feature came in really handy. A lot of people have come up to us and said that's a really brilliant stuff to do.
Yeah, that seems like a very useful feature to make the process of exchanging between coins seamless. So recently, as you know, Shapeshift announced that they were requiring accounts. I think they're currently based in the US and they had to require it or to block US IP addresses. What is CoinSwitch's view on these requirements and the need to require KYC of all users before letting them do?
So we are in a way towards believers of free trade. It basically means people should be able to buy or sell cryptocurrencies without having to actually reveal their identities. But at the same time, we also understand the importance of having regulations in place. We understand that there are gaps wherein things could go wrong. And to prevent such gaps, we would require some sort of compliance to come in place. And we as a company would always do what the regulations require us to do. And I think that's the same thing with every other exchange.
And your exchange is based in India, or where are you guys?
We're based out of India.
And so you mentioned previously that CoinSwitch is backed by Sequoia Capital, which is a fairly well-known VC firm. Yes. Tell me a little bit about that relationship and how that started and how you got in touch with the folks over at Sequoia and what that consists of.
With Sequoia being one of the largest venture capital firm in the world, they just could not let go the opportunity of cryptocurrency industry. They haven't made a lot of significant. They were still looking to make a lot of significant investments into companies that they potentially identified as companies that could really change the game. We happen to be one of those companies because we provide convenience to people, and we make it really easy for people to buy cryptocurrencies, especially for people who are really new to this whole thing. So that's the potential that they saw in us. They realized that yes, there is a need for a company like this. Yes, there's a market for a company like this, and that's where they hopped in. And then the journey has been wonderful together.
So have you received investments from other VC firms besides CoinSwitch or besides Sequoia?
We do have a couple of angel investors on board. The major investment has come in from Sequoia Capital.
And how many team members and what is your currently, how many people do you have on board working on the project?
We are a team of 25 people. I would say a family of 25 people who relentlessly work really hard towards providing a better customer experience. And that mentality flows through the company, not just to the founders, but with every single person and every single role, whether it's a content writer or whether it's a customer support executive or whether it's an engineer who's working on the front end, right? We're on the same page. We're trying to build a product that is very customer centric.
Yeah, that sounds great. And do you have any thoughts on the overall cryptocurrency market and where you think it's heading in the next few months or years in terms of successful products and use cases and where it's heading?
I'm pretty much hopeful. I'm pretty much certain that it's going to head towards greater heights. It all like the initial stages of cryptocurrencies were like a mumbo jumbo with a lot of people running scams and people getting used to the whole idea of what this is and do we really need it. I basically believe the bear market is a test of time that proves or that makes sure that the companies with real stuff stays back, and the ones that aren't will be weeded out of the system. And I think that this test of time is definitely required. And the years or months ahead is going to be way, way bigger than the months or years that we have seen previously. Right? We are going to see a lot of new developments coming into space. We're going to see a lot of use cases coming into space.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the past few months has probably been a great time for new companies to start forming, and then in the future, I'm sure the same.
But to be very honest, we did exceptionally well in that period, right? And that gives us the confidence because when most people were tanking, our volumes actually went up. Our traffic increased on the site. We were able to strategically partner with way more people in this period. I think that kind of tells us that we're on the right way.
Yeah, congratulations. That's great. I agree that there's probably a lot of opportunity for growth in this market, especially with a service like this with CoinSwitch, because it's so difficult to exchange on going to exchanges and putting bids and orders in, and it's time consuming, and it's pretty convenient to have the ability to use different wallets, connect these wallets like Trezor or Ledger wallet, so you don't have to do that separately or have like an external account, so you can just connect it and immediately trade directly from that. So that's a nice feature to have, and makes the process, because most people out there don't want to log into an exchange and put in bids and orders and wait till the orders get hit. And
if you consider the number of hacks that have happened and then the carelessness of the exchanges, the way they have dealt with user funds, certainly tells us that it's time that people realize that it doesn't make any sense to put your money in a centralized exchange and keep it there.
So how long does the trade usually take to confirm? So once you put in...
It depends upon the coins, because since there's an actual blockchain transaction happening, because in exchanges, most of the cases, there's no actual blockchain transaction. Most of them are just database entries. But in this case, since there are actual blockchain transactions happening, it depends on the blockchain. So typically it takes about 15 to 20 minutes. But at the same time, if there's congestion, then it might take more.
And is there any way to check the status of that when after a user has sent the funds to the requested address.
So we have a
waiting
track
for.
order link. Every time a user initiates a transaction and once he sends the funds, he gets a track order link. Either he can stay back on the same page and he can watch their different processes. So he can watch it there, or let's just say he wants to do something else. So he can always take that track order link and always go back and check what happened to the order. Also, if he's really confused and doesn't understand what's happening, he can always ping us. And we have a customer response time of less than 18 minutes. That's a really high standard considering the crypto industry. So you're definitely going to get a response in 18 minutes if you're going to write us a support email.
Mm.
And it's not a pre-fed response. It's actually a human being sitting and responding.
Yeah. Do you guys get a lot of requests every day on assistance for those kinds of things?
So we do get a lot of requests in terms of information, knowledge base, but not in terms of transactions going wrong, because I guess we have built a very robust system that has a very high success rate. So the failure, the rate of transaction failure is 0.02% that we have. So we really do not get a lot of tickets or a lot of customer support. We don't receive a lot of customer support requests in terms of something has gone wrong, but it's mostly about, hey, can you tell me which wallet to use, or can you tell me, what does this coin do, or something like that. So it's more of an information based. And actually, that's where we went ahead and we decided to, enter into providing information to users. So we started building a lot of content around coins. We started writing a lot of stuff about what are the best Ethereum wallets, what are the best Zcash wallets, and things like that, which we felt users would want to know. And most of these contents are being heavily ranked high on Google. So if you were to do a simple Google check for top Zcash wallets or top Tron wallets, you'll always land up on a CoinSwitch provided information. Because at the end of the day, we want to be an exchange where people make well-informed decisions.
So do you just write these informative articles and that helps you with ranking on Google for keyword searches?
We do not write it on purpose for keyword searches, but we write it on the basis of what customer requires. And so we know that this is what customer is asking for. We give that to them.
Yeah. So is that like the section in the footer, like learn, like what is Bitcoin, what is Ethereum, like that
right.
section?
So we have something called coinswitch.co/news. If you go to coinswitch.co/coins, you will see all the supported coins. You click on that. You have a detailed article on every single coin that's listed on CoinSwitch, what the coin does, what's the mission vision behind the coin, right? So yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So that helps with like the ranking and it helps users. That's a really good idea. So when a user clicks on the homepage, they want to exchange, let's say, Bitcoin to Ethereum, they click the exchange button and then they're brought up to a screen that shows all of the different rates at the different exchanges. And they have a recommended one.
Yeah.
What is recommended based off of?
Recommended is mostly based on the price, which is giving you the best conversion. It is also considers factors into other parameters like what is the success rate of that particular exchange, how many transactions are happening on that particular exchange through us. So we take in a lot of parameters, but primarily rate being the number one, and then we determine that this is the recommended exchange. Because since that's the beauty of an exchange aggregator, right? Like I exactly get to know that if this exchange is taking time in transaction, or their customer support for some reason is not functioning as normal at the moment. So we can tell the user that you might want to avoid this for the next couple of hours and might want to do another exchange. So eventually what we're trying to do is very soon we're going to roll out a feature where customers will be able to rate these exchanges. So you come there and you see that, for this particular exchange, also the rate is not so great, but the customers have given them brilliant reviews, right? Mm. So then you know that, okay, this is an exchange that I want to pick up.
Yeah. So there are a number of different exchanges listed there. And some of them are, for example, Change Now, Changely, Shapeshift. So those are exchanges which are basically like similar to yours in that they're like aggregators where you can immediately swap. So I'm interested in why you guys opted to include like these other almost competitor services that offer like a similar service as you do within the list of places.
So to be very sure. It's a question we keep getting. So to be very honest, I wouldn't call them competitors, they're partners. They consider us the same. They very well understand the value add that we bring to them as a platform. Because even if you go to ChangeLead's website and you see under partner section, they've mentioned us. So we are a meta aggregator. We aggregate exchanges, we aggregate aggregators as well. If you look at the basic difference between what they do and what we do, is that we are way more transparent, which basically means that when user comes into CoinSwitch, he can pick and choose an exchange that he wants, which we basically cannot do in any of the other aggregators that you just saw.
Oh, okay. So like ChangeNow or ChangeLead, they don't support the ability to choose which to go with. Okay.
Right. You wouldn't probably even know which exchanges they use in the backend, right?
Right. They just use whatever their preferred one is. They have like some internal settings to decide which one to go to.
So I'm pretty sure they do it in the best interest of the users. But we somehow want our users to decide the best interest of the users.
Okay. Let's see. Interesting. All right. So my guest on the show today has been Sharon Nair. Thanks for coming on the show. It's great speaking to you. And why don't you let users know where they can learn more about CoinSwitch and find out more about it?
Sure. So you can visit www.coinswitch.co. That's the exchange, so you can see what we do. You can head over to our YouTube channel on CoinSwitch, and you can check you can see our tutorials on how to buy coins and how to use the exchange as such. You can also write an email to support@coinswitch.co if you ever face an issue or if you want some sort of information or anything about crypto you would require, we would be happy to help you. For any sort of partnership, collaborations, you would have to reach out to partnership@coinswitch.co.
Right, and we'll include links below to where users can look into this further. So thanks for coming on the show today. It was a pleasure having you, and we look forward to speaking again soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Bounty Zero X podcast. Please remember to subscribe to our podcast below. Check out bountyzerox.io, the #1 bounty hunting platform where you can complete work and earn cryptocurrency. Please consult your professional financial investment and tax advisors before making any investment in initial coin offerings. Bounty Zero X does not provide investment or financial advice and does not endorse or recommend investment in any ICOs advertised on the Bounty Zero X podcast or website.